Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be who knew before you did? Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So who knew that the relationship you were a part of was a toxic narcissistic relationship before you did? I will jump into that and I'll start with the narcissist. Yes, they knew who they were, because they had done this before they met you, and they're doing it right now if they're still gallivanting the globe. The narcissist is a predator, and they look to take advantage of people who are vulnerable, people who are naive, people who are trusting, people who they can place in that zombie-like, trance-like state, which is the narcissistic fog, and people who they can get doing things for them. The narcissist needs something which is called supply. Now, supply can be money, it can be time, it can be communication, it can be you doing things for the person, maybe cooking, cleaning, making them feel good, picking them up, dropping them off, being available when they want you to. The narcissist needs people's attention. They need people's mindsets. They need people's energy and resources. Back then when you were in that relationship, you didn't know this because you were a trusting, like-minded, kind, stable, healthy, empathetic person. And you didn't realize that narcissism was prevalent on the planet. You weren't taught this in school, so you were ripe for the picking, as was I. Again, we didn't know back then what we know now, but who knew before you did? Let's go back in time. Not only did the narcissist know who they were and what they were doing, but they'll never admit it, but let's focus on their immediate family for a moment. Now, I created this video in 2021. I'm gonna touch up a little portion of this right now. Did the narcissist's immediate family members know who they were? Yes, they did. Did they know that they were the person you're considering was a narcissist? Maybe, maybe not. But what they did know is they watched other relationships that that person you're considering was a part of that were ending not good. They were ending abruptly. They were ending quickly. And they were watching that person not be stable, not be able to regulate themselves, and to be needing attention and needing resources. What follows the narcissist, what surrounds them, is drama, confusion, chaos, manipulation, and control. In the tiny little pea brain of the narcissist, these people are shallow, they're hollow, they're bullies, and they're cowards. And they many times have the largest or the biggest voice in the room. Not always, but when you're in that narcissistic fog, the main voice, if not the only voice you're listening to, is the narcissist's voice, because they placed you in that narcissistic fog. After the love bomb / euphoric stage, if you experience that, enter the devaluation stage, which is the second part of these relationships. That's when you were not doing what you should have been doing. You weren't taking care of your health, of your hobbies, of your purpose, of your school, of your work, of your job, of your relationships, of your money, of your purpose. And the narcissist knew this because they wanted to destroy your life and anything that mattered to you. This is what these people do. They're a doomsday machine walking around trying to crush people's souls, steal people's energy, steal people's time, and destroy their purpose. But back then, you were listening to that one voice, the voice that was the voice of the narcissist. And you did not know where you were because you weren't aware that narcissism was prevalent. Now, other people knew what kind of relationship you were in. They could not identify it probably by saying, oh yeah, that's a toxic narcissistic relationship. They most likely were watching your life go sideways and they were questioning you. Example, hey, why aren't you taking care of yourself? I noticed that you're gaining a few pounds, or you're not hitting the gym that much, or you're losing weight, or your appearance has changed. You used to have short hair, now you have long hair, or you used to wear polos and now you wear t-shirts that haven't been washed in 3 weeks. Or you're not going to the doctor like you should, or you're not even putting gas in your car, or you're not contacting me any longer, or you're not being available. These people would question you. Now again, what did you do when you were in that relationship? You made excuses for your behavior because you were being loyal and subservient to the narcissist. Really understand what I shared with you, and notice how I'm talking slow, because for people who have been in these relationships, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you can finish my sentence. I can certainly finish yours in a second. But for the people that don't really know what narcissism is and they're learning, the narcissist has control over their subjects, control over their targets, control over the people they've placed in that zombie-like, trance-like state. And they can do it from afar, they can do it up close, they can do it with a text, a phone call, an email, a package, snail mail, or whatever they want to, until that person breaks the trauma bond. But back then when you were in the relationship, again, you were making excuses for the narcissist. You didn't know they were a narcissist. What you did know is you wanted to be with them. You needed to be with them. Being around them, although it felt challenging and you never knew what was going to happen because you were walking around on eggshells, you were compelled to be around them. And if you were around them, you were peppered with abuse. If you weren't, you were still peppered with abuse, just a different kind. But again, you were in the trauma bond and you didn't know what you know now. Now your friends or your family members or colleagues, they would be watching your life implode. Now some of those people were good people and they probably would say, hey, let's grab lunch, or let's get together and play a game of golf, or man, well, let's just go do something and let's you and I talk for a little while. Those people were probably few and far between, but many times they do exist. But those are the people that know you very well. They care about you. They probably had a high level of empathy and were concerned for you. Now, did they know that you were in a narcissistic relationship? Most likely they didn't, but they did know that you weren't behaving the way you used to behave. So they tried to shake it up with you and say, hey, maybe you want to take a closer look at what's going on here. Again, you weren't listening to them. And the reason you weren't is because you're here right now and you're watching the video and you're getting the wisdom. It's the same thing as myself. Having said that, there were other people who were watching your life implode, and they were actually relishing in this. They were enjoying watching your health take a hit, watching your finances go to zero, watching you put out all these fires that were going on all around you at the hands of the narcissist. These people, in fact, may have been your own family members. They may have been friends, they may have been business associates, who knows? But these people are also not only toxic and maybe even narcissistic, but they were hiding in the shadows, just watching and grabbing their popcorn and watching your life implode. That is a long list of people. You may not know it, but I'll prove those people exist. They are a bigger sample of people than the first group I mentioned. And then there are other people who tried their best to help you out, the people who loved you, that were really close to you, that maybe even raised you, and they tried to talk to you and to say, hey, maybe just come over to the house for dinner once in a while, or maybe come over for a holiday, or let's go on vacation, or let me pay for a trip for you to do something. And you would shut those people down. The reason you would shut those people down is because they were telling you the truth, that you were in a relationship that wasn't serving you. Again, did they know it was a narcissistic relationship? No, they didn't. But they knew that they were trying to help you because you couldn't help yourself. And why you couldn't help yourself is because you were caught up in that zombie-like, trance-like state. So I've identified 3 different groups of people that may have known. Going back to the immediate family member of the narcissist, these people, they had watched the behavior of that person you're considering for years, maybe even decades. And they too were targeted at one point or at multiple points throughout their lives. So what those people realized is either A, they want nothing to do with the person you were in the relationship with, and they probably moved to a different city, town, state, country and went no contact themselves. Or B, they sat back again and watched your life implode and they said, wait, let's see how long this one, which was you, and it certainly was me, let's see how long this one lasts, because this person's gonna take that toxic person, which perhaps is my sibling or my child, off of my hands for a period of time, and I won't have to deal with them. And let's see if this person is the miraculous cure. Again, it was you or it was me. Let's see if they can actually fix this person. Well, we now know that the narcissist can't be fixed, and all they want to do is go through life like a bull in a china shop, like a wrecking ball, and destroying anything that they encounter. So the immediate family member of the narcissist, they may not have known what the term was. Maybe they do now. As a matter of fact, I'm sure they do now. But they knew that something was wrong, something was off. There was always drama and confusion, and there was always some fire to put out with that person you're considering, and they wanted nothing to do with it eventually. Or let's say they were really caught up in it. Maybe they had a high level of empathy, or maybe they too were caught up in the trauma bond and they themselves were making excuses for who you're considering. Or maybe they kept on being there and putting out the fires. Who knows? But the people that are closest to the narcissist, they know that something's wrong. They know something's amiss. They know something keeps breaking over and over and over again in the narcissist's life. And why it breaks over and over and over again is because the one common denominator, the one constant in the narcissistic abusive cycle, it's the narcissist. Keep this in mind. If you pause for a quick moment and go back in time, how many narcissistic relationships were you in that you had to heal from? Probably one. And it's the one that you're considering right now, which is the one you're healing from. Because beforehand, maybe you brushed up with a toxic person. Maybe your boss, was a workplace bully, or maybe it was a friend or something, but you didn't see them as often as you saw this one person who spun your world upside down. You see, it's the people that get the closest to the narcissist who suffer or endure the wrath the most from the narcissist. That's why many people go through life in relationships with the narcissist, but they never put two and two together that that person's toxic. Example, a bestie of 25, 26 years may never know that the narcissist is a narcissist because they didn't live with the bestie. They only see them once or twice a year. So the narcissist can keep the mask on from afar and put them and keep them at bay. And when they see them, they can put the mask on up close. That's why think about vacations. When you went on vacations with the narcissist, exclusively vacations I'm referring to, but this applies to other things. When you go on vacation with the narcissist, it's blown up from the minute you land in the destination till the minute you get home and even afterwards. It's because these people are always on the go. They can't regulate themselves. The vacation or a vacation that you took with the narcissist was meant for you to decompress and maybe go lay on the beach or maybe go skiing or go in a cabin somewhere and read some books and or play chess or go in the hot tub, whatever you were doing, but you're supposed to just be unplugging. That's not what the narcissist does. They can't do that. They don't know how to unplug. The only time a narcissist unplugs is when their cell phone battery dies. And that's not on purpose. It's because they're so caught up in getting supply, they forget to charge it sometimes, which is why they have multiple smartphones. Understand everything. It's so easy to see. It's so apparent when you read the tea leaves from your real life experience and you know the definitions in the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle. So going back to vacations with the narcissist, these were blown up left, right, and center because the vacation wasn't about the narcissist. It was about where you were going. Maybe you're going to Egypt, maybe you were going to North America, maybe you're going to South America, maybe you're going to Asia, or maybe you're going to Australia or somewhere. Wherever you went, that was supposed to be a place you went to have fun, unplug, experience the culture, and go back home. But the narcissist can't have that because they need distraction, manipulation, confusion, chaos. They need to be needed and they need to create issues that you were supposed to put out. That's why when you returned home from the vacation with the narcissist, you needed another vacation, a real vacation, for at least 2 or 3 times the length of the vacation that you just got peppered with abuse from. Play that again. Now, who knew before you did? We've already identified that the family knew because they did. They may not have known the term, but they knew that something was wrong. The besties may or may not know because it depends how much time they spend with them. The immediate family, the spouses of the narcissist, they certainly know that something's wrong because those people, if they were married for a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, or 40 years, they got peppered from the minute that wedding ring was put on the finger. The people that the narcissist works with may or may not know. It depends how close those people get to them. And it also depends on which role the narcissist plays. Example, if the narcissist is new at the job and they're working like an average employee who just got a job, well, they're gonna have to try and move their way up the food chain to get it in a better position so they can act like they're more important and they earn more money and they can bully more people. If they're just one person, they will step, if they're entry-level position, they will step all over their colleagues to move up that food chain in the company. That's how these people work. It's what they do. But again, flip it. Let's say that the narcissist at your job is the workplace bully and say that they run the company or own the company or the manager or director, whomever. Well, now they can do whatever they want to do because they know that you need your job or needed your job. They have the corner office and they can come and go as they please. And usually they are not in the office, but claim that they're the hardest working person, but they dump all the work on your desk at Friday at 5 o'clock and expect it to be completed by Monday at 7 a.m. You don't have a weekend. You don't get to do anything, which includes unplugging, and you're doing the work for them and they're taking the credit for your report that you just did over the weekend while they're out gallivanting the globe or skiing or on a yacht or playing golf, whatever they're doing. You see, this is why the narcissist is everywhere. This is why once you see it, you can't unsee it. And this is why so many people knew before you did. Think about a job application. I'll stay on the workplace bullying / narcissist for a moment. Think about a job application that hasn't been filled in months. Well, why do you think that is? Is it because there aren't good candidates to take the job? Absolutely not. Is it because there aren't people applying for the job? Absolutely not. Is it because the money isn't good? Possibly, but I doubt it. It's probably because once somebody takes that job and gets hired, the people that they'll be working with will know that the life expectancy of that person in the job is going to be limited because so many people before they took that job, they only lasted a few weeks or months, maybe a couple, maybe a half a year, and then they couldn't take it. They either got fired or thrown under the bus or they had to quit because they couldn't stand the boss, which was the narcissist or the workplace bully. This is why these job openings stay open for longer and longer and longer. It's not that they can't fill them. It's that because no one wants the job. It's that no one wants the job because no one can keep the job because there's toxicity in the company. And remember, side note, pro tip, every company starts with the head of the company. All the culture of a company, it starts at the top like a pyramid and it works its way down. So if there's a company you're working for and it's a great company, look at who owns it or who runs it. That's probably a very kind, loving, stable, healthy person, or a fair person. I can assure you it's not a narcissist. There's no way. Flip it. If you're working for a toxic company and you can't seem to catch a break and you're getting thrown under the bus all the time, look at the culture. Look at the people who are running the show. Most likely you are going to find the narcissist there somewhere. Not every time, but open your eyes. You'll be amazed at what you see. So who knew before you did? A lot of people knew. Now let's say the relationship ended and you were discarded, or you ended it yourself. Either way, my heart goes out to you. Think about who was there for you. Whoever was there for you, possibly those people watched your life implode, or at least caught some wind that you weren't doing well, etc. Now those people were few and far between, like I mentioned, but they care or cared about you. All the other people who were listening to the smear campaign, they never checked in on you. They never asked you your side of the story, did they? No, they didn't. Why? Because they're either toxic, they're enablers, they're flying monkeys, they're loyal to the narcissist, or they were enjoying their popcorn watching your life implode. There is no other way to cut it other than that. When you are discarded specifically and your life goes sideways because you don't know what's going on, or when you're ending the relationship and you're separated and getting divorced from the narcissist, the people that will be in your camp will be such a small amount of people, if anybody at all, because those people will have a voice. They will be strong. They will be able to see both sides of any circumstance or story, and they can make their own informed, educated decision. It's the enablers, the flying monkeys, the people who are drinking the Kool-Aid that the narcissist is pouring. These are the people that just listen like zombies to whatever narrative the narcissist is telling them. And these are the weak people, just like the narcissist. And some of those people are the narcissist. But having said this, before I close the video, who knew before you did? A lot of people. They just didn't know what the term was, and they couldn't even when you were in it, if they knew that something was really off, because in this day and age more and more people are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. Even if they told you, hey, I'd get away from that person because they're not going to help you out, you most likely would not have listened to them. The odds of you listening to them are minuscule, and the reason why is because you were in the trauma bond and you were thinking that you were in the best relationship of all time because of what the narcissist sold you, which was a bill of goods. And again, once you're in these relationships, it's too late. And anybody could pull you aside and say, hey, get out of this thing as fast as you possibly can. It's a very, very, very rare person that actually takes those words and runs with it and says, you know what, you're right, I need to get out of here. Those people do exist. But many people, when they're in it, it's going to take something to give, to snap, to break, and they're going to have to get discarded to put two and two together. And even then, there's no assurance that they're going to find the needle in a haystack and they're going to get the light bulb moment and realize, oh my gosh, I have to heal from this thing. Because many people stay stuck pining for the narcissist. Many people stay stuck thinking about them. Many people continue to want to give the narcissist more and more chances. And many people keep that avenue of communication or avenues of communication open with the narcissist. And what you should do once you've identified that you were in a toxic relationship is you should close every avenue of communication that is open or available to them as fast and as soon as you possibly can, because the narcissist doesn't change. They only deteriorate over time. They do not improve. They only threaten people's lives and destroy people's lives. That's why you need to get the message. Who knew before you did? A lot of people knew. You just didn't know it back then because you were in a very, very debilitating, challenging mindset and relationship. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from my new location in the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And realize that when you were in that relationship, you were in it so deep. Even if someone had talked to you and told you, hey, get out of that thing, you probably wouldn't have listened. I wouldn't have either. It takes the ending of the relationship and the reality that that person never loved you, never cared about you, was manipulating you, using you, abusing you, tricking you, and trapping you, and having you stay stuck in that mindset. It's not until you wrap your head around those things, then you realize, oh my gosh, that actually happened. It's real. That relationship wasn't what I wanted it to be, and it wasn't what I thought it was. It was what it was, which was a life-threatening, debilitating, challenging, toxic, trying relationship. One of the most, if not the most challenging relationship I've ever been a part of and ever will be a part of, because I've healed, and now I understand that I'm the priority. I come first, second, and third. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.